Have you ever gone to the front of a line at a store or at a fast food restaurant or something like that, and they don't even see you? They just look at the next person after you, and then they help that person? Has that ever happened to you? I think to a certain extent, it's happened to many of us, but I think if we're prepared for it, um, it can help. And also, there's a bright side. I mean, probably make shoplifting a little bit easier. Okay, I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying that there could be some advantages, and we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But first, let's explore why it could possibly happen. First of all, is invisibility real or is it a myth? Well, there are plenty of stories out there about, say, for example, a woman sitting with a group at a restaurant and the waitress comes by and waits on everybody but her. And then this actually happened, walks back into the kitchen without taking the order of this person. Anyway, it really does happen. Let's just be honest. It may be that older women are more polite or that they have more trust that they're actually going to get waited on. There's also ageism, other thing. Um, it's called salience. If you seem relevant to the person who's behind the counter, like if you present a threat or you present an opportunity, like you're scary or you're cute and flirtatious, you you might get more attention. I'm not recommending that you be, flirtatious or scary when you go up to the counter, but I'm just saying salience. If the person who is doing the choosing, the person behind the counter, sees you as important or salient to their experience, they will focus on you first. That's just human nature. That's like people looking for threats, looking to stay safe, or looking for opportunities. That's not your fault. That's just how our brains work. There's another thing too, loss of a clearly visible role. If you see a young mother come in with two kids in a stroller, or you see a police officer, or you see a business person in a suit, you can identify them right away. You know who they are. And for some reason, that one little behavior or visible effect can create that smoother path towards them waiting on that person. It's called loss of a clearly visible role. That's what the scientific papers call it. So if you are identifiable in a particular role, they feel more comfortable with you because they know you, they see you, how you dress, how you speak, how you walk. These can all be visual cues that can cause the person behind the counter to wait on you or not wait on you. I have an experience of learning from my own youth that I think is relevant here. There was a time when, this is back when they had dress shops and you go into a dress shop and buy an outfit. Well, I was a teenager and I was kind of rebellious and it was before goth, but I was, I would dress like a hippie or, I'd go into a dress shop and the women would treat me like I didn't belong there. And I felt like, that just confirmed that they're a bunch of snots. I didn't realize that I was sending a visual cue that I either didn't have the money or whatever. I wasn't their ideal customer. And so they wanted me out of there as soon as possible. I'm not saying I was dirty or snotty or mean or anything. I'm just saying I wasn't their perfect customer. Sure, if I went into Walmart, no problem. But if I went into a high-end clothing store, I might get a different reception. And it really pissed me off when I was younger to realize that they were judging me and categorizing me. But then I had this epiphany, and I offer it to you because it may be relevant and may help you. Humans are visual animals. They identify each other by look. They see each other. They immediately look and they see what the other human animal looks like. I mean, if we were dogs, we'd have a different procedure, but we're not, we're people. And so we go visually. So if I'm dressed a certain way and I fit in, they're more likely to not feel threatened, maybe feel like I'm relevant to their experience. I might have the money to be able to buy their product and therefore not waste their time. Those things can all be true. And so it's a visual experience for the person behind the counter, and you have to match that experience, I think. I think that there's some merit in this. Now, I'm not excusing rude behavior. I'm not excusing ageism. I'm not saying that invisibility with older women isn't really a thing. In fact, there's a wonderful old novel by Anne Patchett's mother, Jeannie Ray, called Calling Invisible Women. And I just finished rereading it again in preparation for this video. It's just so much fun. I recommend it. Calling Invisible Women by Jeannie Ray. It's just so much fun. Women actually become invisible, literally. And then they go around town doing good deeds and fighting and learning and meeting each other and all that kind of thing. It's a clever play on what she was recognizing is actually happening. It's true. We do become invisible. But here's what I wanted to say. It might be nice to be invisible every now and then. Can I be honest? I'm actually okay with not being the recipient of the male gaze anymore. I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying most women get ogled. And I'd never liked that. I was always shy, but it was unavoidable. I mean, I remember being told to smile by some strange man in a parking lot. I mean, he was cute. I took it as a compliment at the time. We had a fun little flirtation, but come on, I'm so glad that doesn't happen anymore. So I like being invisible to the male gaze. It's quite freeing. And, you can be invisible for a lot of other reasons too. If you don't feel like being seen, if you don't feel like performing at a particular, in a particular setting, you don't feel so judged. You're ignored. That can be good or bad. Honestly, it can be kind of freeing. So I'm not saying that women are to blame for their invisibility, that they're not acting assertive enough, or that they're not making enough of themselves when they go into a public setting. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there is gendered sexism, there's ageism, there's a lot of stuff at play, including the scientific things that I talked about. But knowing this, knowing that there's a little bit of give and leeway, knowing that you might have some power in this situation is kind of important, because you can choose to adjust how you are seen. So for example, if I'm going to go into like a Best Buy or something, and I don't have a lot of time and I really don't want to be messed with, I want help and I want to see somebody now. I dress a certain way, I put on makeup, I throw my shoulders back, I make good eye contact, and I speak loudly. I don't really like having to be a circus performer to interact with my fellow humans, but I just look back at the thing that I discovered when I was a teenager, which was that we are visual animals. We respond to visual cues. And so I'm going to make the cue that I'm dangerous, that you need to deal with me, or it's going to be a problem. Or maybe they think I'm interesting because I'm an old broad who's looking pretty feisty, like a boss. That's how I see it. I walk in there and I'm the boss and they need to take care of me. So maybe that helps. Anyway, I've decided that nobody gets to make me invisible unless I want to be invisible, and then I get to be. So that's my superpower. That's how I see it. I get to be invisible or I get to be seen. And when you're younger, you maybe don't have that much of a choice, particularly if you're young and beautiful or young and even halfway pretty. You don't have a choice to be invisible. That's just how it is. So invisibility can be freedom. You get to decide. I hope this was helpful. I hope especially for the younger people that I always hope that they see something positive about getting older. And for women who say, oh, I'm invisible. Yeah, maybe you are if you want to be, and maybe you aren't if you don't want to be. Take these thoughts to heart. And let me know if this resonates with you. I'd like to hear from you in the comments. Let me know if you've gone through this. Let me know what kind of horrible situation you've had. And tell me if you think you could have made it better or exerted some power. Sometimes I think we become too polite, too reticent in older age. Um, don't let that happen to you. Don't get polite. Stand up for yourself. So, anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. I hope this was helpful. And as always, if you subscribe, you hit that little button wherever it is, you won't miss an episode. I drop a new video every Thursday without fail. So, thanks for hanging out. It was nice visiting with you.